Hey guys, Doug here. We are back with another of our dowel series slash stick off the tree in the yard video series that we're doing. We've got a whole bunch of these little dowel carvings that I'm working on. And today's no different. Today we are going to whip up these little fellas here. Tall, lanky, scrawny looking, goofy looking snowmen, which I absolutely love. Strange. They're strange looking, and that's a good thing. My original dowel carving snowman idea was this. Now all this guy is my big snowman video from a couple years ago, shrunk down to that. And I got farting around and making these, and these are just so weird that I love it to death, and that's the video project. Now I'm getting close to Christmas, so I wanted something that would translate for all year round or all winter long anyway, and the snowman fits the bill. So without further ado, let's just whip one up. These are easy carves. Anybody can do it. I'm just going to use a little flex cut detail knife, and like I said, a 1-inch dowel. I think this is like 5 3/4, 6-inch piece of dowel, 1 inch of course. And like I said, poplar, a little bit harder to carve, but we're not hogging off big chunks of wood that we have to really worry about it. We're just making small cuts, and very accessible. So let's make it. All right, so let's just make one measurement here. Let's do the top of the scarf here. Okay, so what's that? That is 2 inches from the top of your dowel. So it doesn't matter if your dowel is 5 inches or 4 inches. This is from the scarf up, okay? And before we get going, let's just draw some lines on here. I'm going to put a center line on here, and that will give us a line across here. Divide that into nice quarters here. This is rough. Don't get too caught up with it, but all right. And down here, the back I don't really care about. That 2 inches, let's see what we can do if we can drag that around. Close enough. There we go. All right, let's just dig in. All I'm going to do is do a little V cut. Cut one way, cut the other way, right around that line. And we're going to just get that cut in. All right. I don't know what it is. I have a fascination with the strangeness of this guy. Just because he's so tall and skinny. I think maybe it's a bit of a folk artiness to him, but this is a fairly soft dowel. Some of them are harder than others, but little trick, if you're in the hardware store, just take it, and if you can get your fingernails, make a dent with your fingernail, I think you're probably pretty good to go. This can be done with 1 inch. You can do this with 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches. You can do it with a stick. I really wanted to do one with a stick, but I didn't. That's all there is to it. I just didn't, but I wanted to. Let's split that 2 inch in half, and we'll call that the face here. So if that's there, I want to go on the back side and go a little bit lower. All right. That way we'll bring that line around here, and the hat will be on an angle. See that? And let's keep the bottom of the hat flatter and just come up to it this time. All right. I'm just going to run my knife around like so. And again, we're just roughing this in for now. I'm using this flex cut knife too because I don't know what it is, but everybody thinks that the knife that I use is the knife you have to have. And I'm telling you, these flex cut knives, there's nothing wrong with them. But I like to use different knives all the time because nobody pays me to use their knives. So, all right. So there, that's the hat just kind of roughed in. So we got that angle on here. So we know right away that the top of the hat is going to be on an angle. So let's do that too. Just going to slice across here. Remember, the end grain is going to be a little bit tougher to cut. And if you start seeing white lines in your cuts, you know what time it is. It's stropping time. But this one's freshly stropped, so it's good to go. All right. Okay, now that scarf, if I were to draw, let's go big. So let's say a 1/2 inch, okay? The scarf that we want to do, looking at this guy, something like that, or this, right? So that scarf has to start with the top layer. See that top layer? Top layer here, top layer there. The top layer has to be cut in first. So if we go like that and pretend that's our scarf, right? We're going to cut that in first because it's over top of the lower scarf, right? Run a knife around here. A little bit of an angle out. Don't want to really undercut it right now. We do for a shadow later maybe, but see all I'm doing is cutting that. That's going to sit just like so. And if we want to clean the pencil lines off, we can. All right. But right now, that is our outer layer of scarf. So now we can go around with our knife and cut up to that line. All right. Get that scarf all cut in there. A little stop cut. Alright. And into our little overhang piece there. Okay, so now you can see we've got this one overhanging here. So now we can do this one however we want to do it. All right. So that should go under the scarf. So we're basically just doing some layers here. Little tip here, try not to go too thin on your point because it is, I know I ran into trouble on one of these guys, maybe it's this one. That little section here, very hard to dig out, so give yourself room that you can get your knife up in there and get that little chip out of there like that, right? Knowing where my blade is, just on the edge of that line, I'm going to come up here, pop that out, okay? If we go too far in, we start making a whole bunch of undercuts, and we don't want that either. All right. All these little corners, we like to go a little bit deeper to give a little bit of shadow. See that? Maybe a little bit of shadow in here too. Come on. Just take a little chip out of there, like that. All right, now I'm just going to square up this scarf here. Get it kind of under the head a little bit. All right. And then for the bottom's sake, I can, we can do a little bevel, but we're not there yet. Let's just get back to roughing it in. All right, so there is our scuff. There's our scuff. We got a scuff. There's our scarf roughed in, okay? Now, let's say we want, these arms are very These ones have a little bit of a curl on them. I know these ones were pretty straight up and down, and that's probably what we're gonna do. So let's just put some on our side here. Make these arms nice and long. All right. Now, sorry, you can see that that scarf is in part of that. See how the scarf is over that arm? Which all that means is that we don't have to cut that side of the arm. All right. All right. Okay, I'm going to make a cut this way. I'm going to make a cut 45 degree. Same on this side. Yeah. I'm going to run my knife down just on a bit of an angle. It's almost to the point of relief carving in the fact that we're not going as deep as we would if we had like a 2x2 block of wood, but we're showing that the arms are there, right? There we go. Clean that cut up a bit. Okay, there's one side. And we'll do this side. We just squeaked her in between that scarf and there. But, you know, now we're just going to round that off a bit. Clean that all up. Okay, now coming from the bottom, we're not going to have every piece of this wood, we're going to want to have my knife touch it, okay? So there'll be no factory wood, if that's the thing, factory wood. I'm just going to round these over a little bit. Okay. Looking at that, I think I can go just a little bit deeper on that arm. So that's what I'll do. But realistically, those arms are really not even sticking out 1/8 of an inch. Right? Take off the outer edge. One arm. Pretty simple. All right. My wife is singing downstairs. I said, I'm going to make a video. Can you be quiet for a few minutes? Yep, yep. And she's singing. I guess it could be worse. All right. We're just doing exactly what we did on the other side. Just cutting that in. All right. Clean the edges off. Bevel that down a little bit. By the way, people, imagine that's a pretty simple Christmas present, eh? Like I said, you can go to Lee Valley or so many stores, craft stores even carry flex cut knives. Flex cut knife and a strap and a glove and a couple dowels, and you're busy for the holidays. All right. Okay, now we've got all this wood here, and you can see how jagged it is. So we're not coming on a huge angle, but we're trying to keep the bottom as wide as we can. At the same time, matching up with our other lines that we've cut. Right. Remember, I always say knife cut facets are your friend. If you're going to carve it, let's make it look carved, eh? See that? It's starting to peel one way, so I go the other way. If your wood gives you a hard time, go the other way. I probably said that more than anything else on all of my videos, but it remains true. If it starts peeling up one way, turn your knife around and go the other way and work with their grain. Don't try and fight it, because you won't win. All right. While we're down here, I like to just take the corner off. The corner gives a nice shadow, if you can see that. See how underneath that shadow? Whereas a straight one, it's nice to have that little shadow on there. Let's say you make this out of a stick. It's a little bit too skinny and it keeps falling over on you. Don't be afraid to put a little screw in the bottom or something just to hold it upright. All right. A little peg, a little piece of wood. You can make a little set of 3 of them around a circle. There's lots of things you can do. And lots of things I would do if I had played with this idea a little bit longer, but I really wanted to get a video out, but you will see me make this in a stick at some point. So here I am back here farting around playing with the scarf. I just want to take a little bevel off the edge of that just to clean that up. Because in reality, from the neck down, we got it. We're good. We can put, what can we do? We can put a little fold in there or a little wrinkle. All right. Cut like so. A little shallow V cut even. All right. And right here, since this one is going over top, and we probably don't have the room right now, but I want to give enough space for that to look like that's coming over this one, right? Just round it in. Even all the way around here, we can do some little V cuts if we want some texture. Because no scarf is perfectly flat around your neck like that, right? All right. Let's leave that alone for now, and let's move up. Okay, I want to. You can see the shape of this head here. So, and the same up to the hat. So that's really what we're going to do. Let's get this head shape by more of a gradual cut down to the scarf. All right, I keep putting a little cut line in here, just because if you paint that too, just this little cut line here will help keep your paint separated and not bleed into the next thing. All right. All right. And you can see that scarf kind of looks like it's coming over that just by that one little nick in there. All right. Let's get that hat up there too. Just a longer cut. All right. Now, you can see by doing this, we've made a bunch of uniform cuts. So let's just kind of sporadically just take different little nicks here and there. Just try and get that uniformity out of there. All right. Take some off the middle, a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom. Mix it up. Get those facets so they're not all uniform and in a row. All right. Okay, let's look at our shape here. I think we're in pretty good shape. So what I like to do now, as you can see, I've left the line on here. Let's just decide right now that that's where the nose is going to go. All right. Because I want to cut that factory edge off after I've drilled the hole, and that'll be a nice clean hole. But before we drill our hole, what we need is a dowel. And I've actually gone a little bit heavier than I used to go on my Snowman. But a dowel and the corresponding drill bit for your dowel, okay? Whatever size you use, that's probably pushing a 1/4 inch, right? But what I've been doing is I've been actually angling these noses up a little bit. See that? And I think I kind of like it. It kind of adds a bit of quirkiness. And you can see this guy too, he's looking off just a little bit. It'd be great to have one turned. They could be talking to each other, you know, if you just turn their head. Because where you put the face, it doesn't matter to the body. You can just turn the head. But, all right, so I'm going to drill that right now. I'm going to start off a little bit slow. And then just get in on that angle. See that? So that's quite an angle. Point it up. All right. But now I can finish that cut. All right. All right. Let's move on and save the face for the grand finale. Let's work on the hat. For the hat, I'm just going to maybe 1/8 of an inch. Going to go up and down. I'm going a little bit heavier so that we don't break off any of these edges, okay? If you go too fine, that's a very, very weak spot, especially being end grain, and it's easy to break. So. Now she's talking to the little dog. Oh, little puppy. I hope she watches this video. She's constantly carrying that little dog around and talking to it like a little baby. All right. All right. There it is. I knew it. I felt it. When I did that, I felt it break. No problem. I felt that thing and oh, here we go. But we can fix it. There we go. Let's trim a little bit of these edges off. All the way around. Okay. good as new. I'm gonna run my knife around here, and I'm gonna take some long slices down. All right, I'm happy with that that hat. So now I'm just going to bring it really thin, not really thin, but really bottom. Going to thin that bottom a lot. I really want that top to kind of crown. But keep in mind what I was saying about the thickness of that cap. You saw me break it off already at that thickness. So when you're cutting against it like that, it's very easy to break that off. All right. All right, let's do the top. All right, I'm gonna take some edges off the top. You can make up any hat that you want. All right. I put a band on this one, a little gold band. All right. Now I'm gonna go from, let me just clean up the bottom, but now I'm just gonna come back just on a little bit of an angle. And this will be our final cut. A little bit of an angle, like that. As long as we have a nice clean cut in here, we're good to go. Start off heavy and thinner up on the way out the door. All right. There we go. All right. Now let's look at our whole head shape here. We could make it a little bit rounder, but it's a little bit oblong, but I'm okay with that as is. All right. So for these eyes, the eyes are painted. See that? All they are is two little drops of black with the white. But what I like to do is just take my knife here and just do a little scoop like so, and a little scoop like so. And you can hardly see that, but what I did was I set up two flatter areas, right, that my paint won't be an issue, right? All right. Now the mouth, big happy mouth. Now I'm doing something that I haven't done in the past either. Just putting these little side lines here. See that? And all I'm doing is making them little V cuts. There's nothing wrong with just a straight in smile. But I think this just adds a little bit of a cheek to him, right? Alright, I'm just going to smooth that out. Get that pencil line off of there. Alright, and smooth out the edge. All right, you see that? Now I'm going to put that smile in between. It's going to make a bunch of little tinier V-cuts to start with. Get that smile set in place. All right, now I'm going to take my knife and dig it in a little bit deeper. Right, I'm just going to take just a little sliver out of there. See that? Just deepen that up real nice. I didn't get all the sliver out of there, so I'll backtrack. Grab my little brush. All right. One little whisker in there. Come on. Get up. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to put my knife in. Just flick it down. See that? Same as here. Up to nothing. From the bottom of that lip up to nothing. So you see how that mouth got a little bit of a lip here in the bottom, and then I just kind of go up into nothing. Let's smooth that all out again. There you go. All right. That's my nose. I can make the nose as big or as little as I want, but I'm just going to roll that around, snap it off, and grab my glue. I got some super glue here. Drop in there. Stick my nose and turn it. Okay. And I'll be back in 1 minute when that's dry. All right, that should be good enough. Now I'm just going to get my knife in close to the face. If you want to put a little dot on center, I'm just going to whittle that nose. I was going to say we're going to whittle it to a point, but we really don't care if it's a point or not. In fact, a point is not ideal. We'll just take a little, we'll get close to it and then just knock off a little flat spot. Because you know, if we leave it a point, then it's going to break. But having that dot in the middle, we can kind of gauge where to take it off from. All right. Or you can make it crooked. That's fun too. Let's do that. Let's droop it down a little bit. Oh, a little saggy carrot in his nose. Hey, what did the one snowman say to the other snowman? Anybody else smell carrot? That's what he said. Dumb. Let's put a marker on here. Looks a little bit better. Now, we're kind of done, right? There's not much else to do. But if I wanted to make this a little bit better, what could I do? Well, I could take my knife around and just kind of go kind of just a whisker. See that? And just kind of take a fine haircut out of all my things here, just to give a bit of a shadow. See, that's all I'm taking out is that much, right? But you can see now that makes such a difference to this side. So let's do this side. Run my knife in here. And let's take just a whisker. Yeah. There we go. See that? It makes a big difference on the scarf too. The scarf is not really glued to his arm. So we could take that scarf there. I got that piece there. We could really undercut that and give a big shadow, even by taking out some of his arm. See that? There. All right. Here we can cut underneath the scarf a bit. Take it out. There you go. Yeah. Bottom of the scarf. What can we do with the scarf? We can put a little V-cut here. And here. See? All right. Then we could take some little nips out of there. All right. Alright, we can play with that like that. Or, let's say we have a little V-tool here. We can just take a V-tool, right? And just like make come on, get out of there. All right, make that like that. There's many ways to skin a cat. All right. I could put a little few cuts here and there, but anyway, just go around the whole thing and make sure you're happy with it. You got lots of shadows. If you're gonna paint it, I would, like I said, just running your knife, just doing this. I like to water down my paint, so just giving that little cut edge. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the carving at all, and it just keeps your paint. Like if I painted this white and this purple, that purple is going to have a tendency of, if I water it down, it's going to want to bleed in. But just a little cut line stops it from bleeding in. And also, don't be afraid, because this is not basswood, and the basswood police and the carvers aren't going to get you. But sometimes that the pulp there is a little bit fuzzy. You can take a little piece of sandpaper. That's like 220. And you can just give it a little swipe with your sandpaper. We're not sanding it to remove our cut marks. Remember, we're carvers, so we want to see that it's carved. But sometimes it's a little bit stringy, sometimes a little bit fuzzy, and that will help it. As far as the painting process goes, it's pretty straightforward. I've got lots of painting videos, but we might as well put some of this oil on here. I've been using this circa 1850 Terra Nova Nature Oil. There's lots of oils you can use. All I say is, especially with the acrylic paints, we don't want to like seal it and varnish it. We want to something that can still soak in a little bit of paint. All right, but just putting some oil on here so you can see all the. Usually I just spray with water, but. Now I would let that dry for it doesn't take too long, but even a couple hours and you're good to go with paint. But that's it. That's our snowman. You can see this guy is painted white, but honest to goodness, this guy's white too. But I actually prefer a natural, especially when the wood is so white. I like that. And these little shadows here is super fine watered down black. I just ran it around the scarf and everything just to show the edges. I think they're brothers, right? All right. Well, that's it. We just made our quirky, tall and skinny snowman from our hardware store dowel, and that's fun and easy, satisfying. I mean, I love these little carvings. They're so much fun. So paint them up. Don't be afraid. Add some color and make them your own. If you have problems with them, if you didn't cut the bottom straight to start with, you're going to have problems. They got to have a nice straight cut in the bottom so that they'll stand up without any problem. But if you have problems, don't be afraid to put a little dowel in the bottom and pin them to another piece of wood or something, or make it a little different heights and have a whole bunch standing around, or like I said, turn the head one way and have them looking at each other and talking. But I mean, I've got made 4 here in a matter of no time, and yeah, really fun. So hope you like it. Big thanks to all who bought me a coffee, or actually now it's a hit the tip jar. Appreciate it. Never expected, but always appreciated. And yeah, like I always say, I hope to be back sooner than later, and I probably will be this time. So take care, everybody, and I will see you again before Christmas, hopefully. See you guys.